Hello, my dear student. How are you? Hope you all are quite okay and fine. I am also fine. Welcome you all to my today biology practical class. Before going to start our today's practical class, first of all, I would like to introduce myself to all of you. This is Mohammad Ghulam Morshed, lecturer of biology, Ministry College, Uttara Dhaka. Actually, today our experiment number is 12. And the name of the experiment to show the nature of exhale gas. Actually, the principle of our today's experiment, as you know that the nature of exhale gas is actually carbon dioxide. But how this carbon dioxide actually produced in our body or in our cell, you should have a clear understanding regarding how the carbon dioxide actually produced in our body. As you know that during the cellular respiration, carbon dioxide is actually produced as a byproduct. Okay. The glucose is actually react with the carbon dioxide to produce carbon dioxide, water and energy. And this carbon dioxide is very toxic or harmful to human body, and it need to be eliminated from our body as early as possible. That's why this carbon dioxide actually transported through the blood as a bicarbonate salt to the alveoli, that is the lungs, where this carbon dioxide reach in the alveoli. First the carbon dioxide diffuse from the capillary network to the alveolus and exit from our body through the exhalation process. This is the very simple mechanism of inhaling or exhalation process or breathing process. Okay. Now let's discuss let's start our today's practical class. You all are requested to watch this video lecture very carefully, because this is the practical class. So I expect your full attention in my today's practical experiment. Okay, my dear student, let's start our today experiment. Actually, to complete this experiment, we need some apparatus. Okay, we need two test tube. This is the test tube. We need a beaker, and this is the another beaker which contain fresh water. And this is the line. You see here, this is the line, and two plastic or glass tube. This is the glass tube, and this is the syringe, 10 cc syringe without needle. Actually, these are the apparatus which is needed to complete this experiment. Okay. Now the procedure. What are the procedure? Actually, first of all, we have to make a lime water solution. But how can we make a lime water? It is very easy process. First we add some lime. This is the lime. First we take some water in a beaker. Okay, and add some lime into the beaker. And shake this beaker gently so that the lime can easily dissolve in the water. Okay. Now the lime water. Okay. Now take this lime water in two test tube in equal amount. Okay. This is the test tube. Take some lime water into this test tube. Okay, this is the test tube which contain lime water. This is the number 1 test tube. We also take this lime water to another test tube in same amount. Make sure the two test tubes contain the same amount of lime water. Okay. Actually, we need same amount of lime water into separate test tube. Okay. Okay, first take the test tube number 1. This is the test tube number 1. Now we are passing fresh air to the test tube number 1. But how can we pass the fresh air in the test tube number 1? It's a very simple process. Now take a 10 cc series. This is a 10 cc series without needle. First we have to fit a glass tube at the tip of the 10 cc syringe, and we drawn this piston up to the 10 cc. Okay, 10 cc. Now the another end of this glass tube inserted into the test tube number 1 in such a way that the end of the test tube actually submerged into the water surface. Okay, now push the test tube 1 or 2 now push the fresh air into the test tube number 1. Just press the piston and again press the piston for several times to pass the fresh water into the test tube number 1. Okay. Now we take the test tube number 2. This is the test tube number 2. Now we are passing here the exhale air. But how can we pass the exhale air? First we insert the one end of the glass tube into the test tube number 2 in such a way that the end of the test tube touch the surface of the lime water. And now take the deep breath, inhalation, and exhale. Okay. Now the procedure have already completed. Now the observation. Okay. Now they observe this test tube for 15 seconds. Okay. This is the test tube number 1 and this is the test tube number 2. And test tube number 1. Now the observation. This is the test tube number 1 and this is the test tube number 2. As you know that we have already passed the fresh air into the test tube number 1. So there is no change in the test tube number 1. This lime water is actually clean lime water, we observe here. But in case of say test tube number 2, water actually we observe in the test tube number 2. You observe here that this is the milky solution, milky or cloudy solution. But actually test tube number 2 we actually pass the exhale air into the test tube number 2. That's why the test tube number 2 the solution is turned into cloudy or milky. Okay, this is the observation. Now the conclusion. What are the conclusion? Actually test tube number, in case of test tube number 1 there is no changes actually take places in test tube number 1. But in case of test tube number 2 the solutions turn into lime water turn into milky. Actually it actually occur due to the reaction between lime water and the carbon dioxide. That's why the clear lime water turned into cloudy or milky solution. Okay, my dear student, from this experiment we came to know that our nature of exhale gas is actually carbon dioxide. Actually, today's experiment actually proved that our exhale gas is actually carbon dioxide. Okay. Uh, Thank you very much for your patience hearing and watching my today's experiment. If you have any queries regarding today's experiment, feel free to ask me, or you can also ask your respective subject teacher or our demonstrator. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all.